What an amazing sight! Every year something truly ancient and incredible happens on the shores of Delaware Bay. It's a massive gathering, honestly one of the biggest animal meetups on the entire planet. Millions of Atlantic horseshoe crabs come here from the deep. They travel from the cooler waters of the ocean to these specific beaches. This isn't just a casual visit, it's a mission. This event has been happening for millions of years, long before people were here to see it. It's a timeless ritual, driven by the moon and the tides, a true natural wonder that connects us to a prehistoric world. It's a privilege to witness it. The main event happens during the high tides of the new and full moons in May and June. The pull of the moon brings the water high up onto the sand, creating the perfect nursery for the next generation. The Delaware Bay is special. Its beaches are shallow and protected from big, crashing waves. The sand here warms up just right, making it a cozy place for eggs to develop. This bay becomes a bustling metropolis for horseshoe crabs. It is estimated that about 30 million of these creatures can be found in the bay during this peak season. They're all here for one purpose: to create new life. The action starts with the males. They arrive first, waiting eagerly in the shallow water near the shore. The females then release a special scent, a chemical signal called a pheromone, into the water. This signal drives the males into a frenzy. They scramble to find a female. The smaller males use special front claws, which look like little boxing gloves, to grab onto the back of a much larger female's shell. It's not uncommon to see a big female crawling up the beach dragging 1, 2, or even more males behind her. This creates a funny-looking chain that people sometimes call a conga line of crabs. Once on the beach, the female gets to work. She digs a small nest in the wet sand, a few inches deep. She chooses her spot carefully. The sand needs to be wet enough so she can get back to the water, but not so wet that the eggs will be washed away or be too cold. She then lays thousands of tiny green eggs in a cluster. As she lays them, the male or males hooked onto her back release their sperm to fertilize the eggs. A single female can lay over 50,000 eggs in one season, returning to the beach on several high tides to lay more nests. It's an incredible effort to ensure their species continues. Horseshoe crabs are true survivors. People often call them living fossils, but I like to think of them as having a perfect design. Their body plan has worked so well that it hasn't needed to change much in over 400 million years. That's older than the dinosaurs. They are not true crabs at all. They are more closely related to spiders and scorpions. Their body has three main parts. The front part is a big smooth helmet called the prosoma. The middle part is the abdomen, or opisthosoma, and the long pointy tail is called the telson. The telson isn't a stinger. They use it like a lever to flip themselves over if they get stuck upside down. The life of a horseshoe crab begins as a tiny green egg buried in the sand. After about 2 weeks to a month, depending on the temperature, a baby horseshoe crab hatches. These little guys look like miniature versions of the adults, but they don't have a long tail yet. The tail grows as they get bigger. They spend their early years in the shallow sandy flats near the shore, eating tiny worms and other small creatures. They are very vulnerable when they are young, so they stay hidden in the mud and sand, growing slowly and safely away from predators that might try to eat them. Growing up is a long process for a horseshoe crab. To get bigger, they have to molt, which means shedding their hard outer shell. They will molt many times, around 13 to 15 times in total before they are fully grown. Each time they molt, they grow a little bit more. This journey to adulthood takes a lot of time and energy. It takes about 9 to 11 years for a horseshoe crab to become mature enough to make its own journey back to the beach to mate. That's a long childhood. Once they are adults, they can live for about 20 years, continuing the cycle for future generations. These creatures have an amazing set of tools for sensing the world around them. They have 10 eyes in total. 2 large compound eyes are on the top of their shell, which are great for spotting mates and predators, but they also have smaller eyes and light sensors all over their body. There are some at the front, some on the side, and even some along their tail. This complex system helps them detect changes in light, including moonlight and sunlight, which guides their movements and their incredible journey to the spawning beaches. They can literally see the world from almost every angle, a true survival advantage. Horseshoe crabs are incredibly important to the entire ecosystem of the bay. They are what we call a keystone species. This means that many other animals depend on them for survival. Their eggs are the main reason for their importance. When millions of crabs lay their eggs, they create a massive all-you-can-eat buffet on the beach. This feast is perfectly timed for another amazing natural event. The migration of shorebirds. Huge flocks of birds like the incredible red knot stop at Delaware Bay on their long journey from South America to the Arctic. They must eat the crab eggs to gain enough weight to finish their flight. The birds are not the only ones enjoying the feast. Many other animals depend on this abundance of eggs. Fish like striped bass and white perch swim into the shallows to gobble them up. Other types of crabs like blue crabs also snack on the eggs. Even when the horseshoe crabs are adults, they are part of the food web. Large predators in the ocean, such as sharks and big sea turtles like the loggerhead, will hunt adult horseshoe crabs. Their hard shell provides good protection, but strong jaws can break through it. Every part of their life cycle provides food for another creature, connecting the ocean and the shore. Beyond their role in nature, horseshoe crabs are also heroes for human health. They have something very special flowing through their bodies: blue blood. Unlike our red, iron-based blood, their blood is blue because it uses copper to carry oxygen. But the amazing part is what's inside the blood. It contains special cells called amoebocytes. These cells are extremely sensitive to toxins produced by bacteria. When they detect even the tiniest amount of these dangerous substances, they immediately turn into a jelly-like clot, trapping the bacteria. This reaction is a powerful defense mechanism for the crab. This unique blood has become a lifesaver for people. Scientists created a test from it called the Limulus amoebocyte lysate, or LAL test. Every single drug, vaccine, and medical device that needs to be sterile, like needles or artificial joints, must be tested with LAL. It ensures that these products are free from harmful bacteria before they are used on humans. This means that if you've ever had a shot or an IV drip, you have been protected by a horseshoe crab. Their ancient blood is a critical part of modern medicine, keeping millions of people safe every single day. It's an amazing gift from an amazing animal. Despite their incredible history of survival, horseshoe crabs face serious dangers today. The biggest threat is the loss of the places where they live and breed. As more people build homes and businesses along the coast, the quiet, sandy beaches they need are disappearing or becoming polluted. Shoreline construction, like seawalls and jetties, can change the way sand moves, washing away the perfect nesting spots. This habitat destruction makes it harder and harder for the crabs to find a safe place to lay their eggs, putting the entire next generation at risk. Protecting these spawning grounds is the most important thing we can do. Humans have also put pressure on horseshoe crab populations in other ways. For many years they were harvested in large numbers to be used as bait for catching eels and whelks. While this practice is now more regulated, it took a big toll on their numbers. The biomedical industry also relies on them. Each year, about 500,000 crabs are captured, so a portion of their blue blood can be collected for the LAL test. While most are returned to the ocean, the stress of this process can be fatal for some, with estimates suggesting that up to 30% of them may not survive after being bled and released. The good news is that many people are working hard to help these ancient mariners. Conservation groups and scientists are studying the crabs to better understand their needs. They have helped establish protected areas along the Delaware Bay to keep the most important spawning beaches safe. There are also rules in place to limit how many crabs can be harvested for bait, giving the population a chance to recover. And scientists are working on developing a synthetic alternative to the LAL test, which would mean we wouldn't need to rely on the crab's blood in the future. Everyone can help too. All along the bay you will find volunteers and local people participating in a simple but vital act of kindness. During the spawning season, many crabs get flipped over by waves and get stuck on their backs. If they can't right themselves, they can die in the hot sun, so people walk the beaches and just flip them back over. This simple Just Flip 'em campaign saves thousands of crabs every year. By protecting their homes, reducing our impact, and lending a helping hand, we can ensure that these incredible ancient creatures continue their amazing journey for millions of years to come.